Hello, I'm back again after a short break. What the international football, I never do a podcast over that point. I just can't see the point. I can't get myself into qualifying games. I think England showed exactly why over those two games with the lost to the Czech Republic and then beating Bulgaria. Every time we play a decent team, we collapse because we just haven't got the thought behind us as a tactically as an international team. Everyone was raving about England during the World Cup, but those of us that watched it properly and understood it knew that we'd only got to where we had because of penalties and free kicks and stuff won under the new rules. And as soon as we played Croatia, we were out. We were bereft. Anyway, as I say, I don't podcast about international football. I find it tedious beyond belief. Which is also how I felt about some of the Arsenal matches of late. So let's go right back. The last time I podcasted was after the 2-2 draw at Watford. Away at Watford, not at home, in our brand new multi-million-pound stadium. In our with our best ever team that are being followed by Amazon we won't get onto that just yet. We might have a little bit of that after the game, but yeah, at the end of the day, look, the game, I've said before, check my other videos, the Watford result was a bad result in the fact that we were playing them off the park, and then second half it was literally a game of two halves. The changes in that changed that game around. So that's where we were when I last podded. We were sort of bruised and beaten up a bit from drawing with Watford, having gone 2-0 up and cruising, absolutely cruising. Like I say, a bit of a bogey team for us, Watford. So then we move on to we got the distraction of the cup match at home to Nottingham Forest, a team we haven't played since, was it last year before? But this was a different Arsenal, completely changed. We got to see our first choice fullback situation with Tierney and Bellerin playing, and a bit of a youthful team because it's the League Cup, and they did really well. 5-0 win at home. I know it's not the Forest, but after coming off the back of that as a club, coming off the back of the 2-2 draw, and then sending out the amount of youth that he did send out, and Tierney in particular playing his first game for the club and stuff. I think a 5-0 win, we run out. It was a good result. It was looking good for Arsenal. Thinking, okay, yeah, we've got some decent players in and around the squad, and when these guys come into the first team, which hopefully, at the time we were thinking hopefully they will against Man United, we're not too bad. We've got a decent squad again, and I think that's what we haven't had for a long time. And as much as I rate Arsene Wenger, and will always rate Arsene Wenger, as I said before, the football passed him by, and he couldn't do what he had always done. But he's towards the end of his time at Arsenal, his eye for a player, I don't know if it's because he didn't change his team around into his backroom staff and whatnot, but his eye for a player was definitely starting to fade a little bit. He could never really pick out defenders, to be fair. It was Martin Keown that suggested Kolo Touré playing at the back as centre half, but under Arsene Wenger was picking people like Pascal Sigon and Stepanovs, and he didn't have a great eye for a defender at all. I think he got lucky with people like Lauren and Ashley Cole, who just sort of seemed to fit into those positions. I don't think Lauren was supposed to be a right back. He was a right midfielder, really, when he really came to the club. But the same way that Ashley Young at United has gone on to be a left back, it wasn't really his preferred position. So yeah, so we were getting the squad. We're getting the squad there, and I think you can really see it as a young nucleus again at the team. And that was good to see. And like I say, that spirits are up after the cup win. It was only a cup win, But we were all thinking coming the United game, it was a great time to play United. They'd just lost to West Ham. We were just starting to pick ourselves up after the Watford game. But then we went there. We went to Old Trafford. And I think that's where the problem lies. Not the team, not Man United. I think, and this is weird, right, because there are very few, if any, there aren't any. There are no players left that were ensconced in the Arsene Wenger, Alex Ferguson row, on the Arsenal side anyway. The whole battle between those two. But it feels like, as a club, Arsenal are still in awe of Man United as a club. So when we go to Old Trafford, we bottle it. We absolutely bottle it. We can't take them on at their own game. We can't do what we're supposed to do against them. You get them back to our place and it's a different matter. I'm sure when we play them at the Emirates this year, if they're playing like they are now, we will wipe the floor with them. But up there, we cannot get past the fact that it's Old Trafford and Man United, because we should have flown at that team. We should have absolutely battered them. To come away with a 1-1 draw, where their goal takes a slight defection. I've gone past the point now of going on about Xhaka and there was the whole thing, did he duck and whatnot. Fed up with it. Don't want to hear it anymore. Don't want to talk about it anymore. I'm done with it. But that was the only real chance of note that I can remember. Even we're going back now, but even at the time, I don't remember them seriously testing Bernardo. They should have done. They got into positions where they should have done, but it didn't. Second half, we came out flying and should have got a couple more goals in that period. The goal that we did get, how the the assistant referee, flagged for offside. When he's standing right next to it, we shouldn't have needed VAR. But if we didn't have VAR, we would have been robbed a goal. Again, at Old Trafford, we would have been robbed a result at Old Trafford, like we were after 49 games. When that loss came, I can take some losses. Sometimes you just deserve to lose. You deserve it. You're not playing well. Blah blah. The 49 game one, Rio Ferdinand should have been sent off, and Rooney dived. It's literally that simple. And if VAR had been around then, that would not have happened, right? But we shouldn't have needed VAR in that instance. Yes, it worked for us. Brilliant, great. We got the goal we deserved. But the assist, he was literally standing right there. So I can't fathom how refereeing standards and whatnot have gone. Are they deliberately trying to rely on VAR? I don't know. Before the game, but I did say there was. Obviously I didn't get up to Manchester at 8 o'clock at night on a Monday. I was watching at the pub. There was a random Man United person there, and no, it wasn't Man United anymore. It was just a random punter who was watching the football with us, and he asked. He said, "Oh, you seem to be football experts," which we all laughed at. Not really, we just watch it. But he asked what before the game what he would put money on. He said, "What should I put money on?" So I told him, "Go for a score draw." I accepted that before the game. I knew that's what was going to happen, and so I took it. At the end of the day, it's Man United. And that's the mindset right there. It's Man United. It's not Man United though. It is Man United as a club, but it's not the Man United that we used to play in. And once we get out of that, it's the same sort of thing as with Liverpool in a way. I think because under Arsene Wenger we had a decent set of results against Liverpool. I think the club think that's the same Liverpool. It's not. It's quite clearly not the same Liverpool. These guys, I mean, they are get at a ball, don't get me wrong, we're going off the beaten track a bit now. But we can't play like we used to play against them because they haven't got Jamie Carragher at the back. They haven't got, God knows, Vladimir Smicha or whoever in midfield. They've got proper players. And so we have to change accordingly, and we haven't, the same way we haven't changed accordingly. With Old Trafford and Man United, not the team. It's not the team again with Man United. It's the actual aura of the club. So 1-1. We moved on then to the Europa League. Again, we all thought that Mesut Ozil will play in. He still hasn't turned up. It's not he hasn't turned up, but the manager's not picking him. I know there's a lot of people out there that will say Ozil fanboys and whatnot, but I'm not. I love him as a player. I think as an actual technical player, that's why my avatar and that is of Ozil. I just think he's the most gifted player we've got at the club. And if you've got him playing, if you can get a system where you get him playing with Pepe, Aubameyang and Lacazette when he comes back, you'll see the best of Pepe. Pepe will step up because he'll be able to he won't have to do all the work from deep. He'll have Ozil doing it for him and he can relax. He got his penalty thanks to Aubameyang. He let him have the penalty to score the goal, but Pepe needs to score an open play, and I think then it will all settle down. People get on his back, short memories, Henry, Bergkamp, and Pires. These players didn't score and didn't hit the ground running. And Pepe's doing his best, and I think he's trying too hard. But with teams like Liège, look, even if you're not going to play him in the league or whatever, in your big games, you think he's not. These are the games that Ozil was meant to be there for. He's one of your 5 captains or whatever the naff thing is. Whether you hate him and think that he needs to go and he's taking too much money out of the club or whatever, you've still got to play him against Liège because it gives other players a rest, right? And it will G up the players that he does play with. We're playing with Mesut Ozil, right? All right, we won 4-0 as it was anyway. Liège have never been a great team, let's be fair, against us, well, since we've played them. But I just think that the situation surrounding Mesut Ozil needs to be sorted and sorted quick. We're coming to the end of October. I would be surprised and a little disheartened if he's not. I would be surprised if he was still at the club in January. And I would be disheartened if we let him go. Because I just think he's a squad. If nothing else, take away everything else, his performances for the club, whatever. He's a squad. What a player to have in the squad. You've still got Mesut Ozil there to have. He's still another. He's not a bad player as a squad player. It's not like you're relying on El Neni. We're playing Torreira in the central in Mesut Ozil's space. So it shows you there is something fundamentally wrong between the manager and the player when he's playing a decent defensive centre midfielder and an attacking midfielder as well, and he's got one of the best attacking midfielders in the world still, in my opinion, sitting on the bench, especially in games like Stade Liège. But we won it, so can you question his tactics there? Not really. We won 4-0. Clean sheets are plenty. Socrates, who's the other fella that we always booing? I've forgotten the geezer's name. Mustafi was the fella. Was clean sheets. He's got clean sheets in the League Cup and the Europa League. But it's a really good interview with him, actually. To be fair, about the whole, it affected him. It must affect him. I've said before, don't boo during the game. You've got to try and raise it up. I mean, imagine what you must feel like having 60,000 nearly people screaming at you that you're rubbish and you're crap and you're already feeling bad. You know what it's like when you're at work and you might make a mistake and then someone comes along and goes, "Oh, you didn't do that." And you go, "I know, I've got to try and sort it out." And it has a knock-on effect to everything else. You imagine what it's got when you've got 60,000 people telling you that, and you already know, you're in your head going, "I shouldn't have done that." But you can't help yourself. Sometimes you do things you shouldn't do. Yes, he does those things more often than most. But I still think maybe it's because he's trying too hard again, like Pepe is. And he needs to relax, but he can't relax because he knows that the minute he slips, he's got that many people screaming, shouting at him. He is human. He's going to have these feelings, emotions, and whatever. And it's difficult because we support the club. We want the club to win, and when we see a mistake, we want to call it out. But it's probably best to do it like this in a format and a forum where maybe he's not going to see it as much. And the last game in our little run since I did a thing was a 1-0 win against Bournemouth, which is about as vanilla as it sounds. 1-0. It was on Sunday afternoon. The sun was shining in the first half. We looked amazing in the first half at the Emirates. And then the second half came and we did the same again. We just invited pressure on. We changed around a bit and we let Bournemouth come at us, and we're going to get, when we play other teams, we're going to get caught out by that big style. So it's a strange, it's the same as the Watford game. It's a strange way of playing the game of football, but that's the way we're doing it at the moment. And we're in and around the top 4. So can we really complain when that's all everyone's ever said is get us back in the top 4? For years, Arsene Wenger was pilloried for only finishing in the top 4. You look at the Spurs, I alluded to at the beginning of the thing, they've moved into their new stadium. They've got to a Champions League final, same as we did, in the same season. And look at them now. You look at what Arsene Wenger did. He kept us competitive, he kept us up there, the brand new stadium, all that going on. And, all right, sometimes the football was it was never negative our side of it, but it was predictable and slightly boring towards the end. But you take that back in a heartbeat at the moment, really. Challenging for the top 4, finishing above Spurs. We will finish above Spurs this year, though. They are rubbish. The 3-0 loss last weekend. They were losing at home to Watford, who haven't won a game all season, and we got pilloried for losing a 2-goal lead. They managed to claw back a 1-0. It was only 1-0, but it was at their ground, and it was right at the end when they scored their goal. Something is not right at the White Hart Lane Stadium, but who cares? All I care about is Arsenal, and maybe seeing Man United struggle and get drawn into a relegation battle. That would be amazing. So next up is Arsenal, Sheffield United. I will podcast, video, vlog, whatever it is that I do, talk to people out there, whoever it is that might actually have the unfortunate occurrence to see this video. I'll do it again more frequently this time. There was obviously just reasons and whatnot as to why I couldn't video after each result, and go into more depth. But you've seen it all, you know it all, you've read the papers, you know what's going on. England have beaten Australia in the rugby. Spurs have lost. Can Arsenal make it a really, really good weekend and beat Sheffield United? I love it. I would love it. There's only one possible outcome that would make me slightly happier than an Arsenal win this weekend, and that was if Man United lose and we let Sheffield United beat us, because they would slip down. Obviously, I don't want that to happen, but wouldn't it be amazing if Man United were right down there in the relegation battle? Because their players have never been in one. They don't know what the hell's going on. They wouldn't know how to get out of it. They've let Alexis Sanchez go out on loan and keeping Marcus Rashford and trying to drop all their hopes and expectations on Mason Greenwood. Man United are in trouble, man, and that's almost a joy to watch. No one likes to see young English players struggle. I think Marcus Rashford is a good player. He could become a great player. He's gone off the ball, but he hasn't got a coach that knows how to coach him properly. And it's a weird situation down at Old Trafford. But Ollie's at the wheel, boys. The same as Unai's at the wheel for Arsenal, and the same as Manuel Pellegrini was at the wheel for West Ham. Every time someone mentions about the wheel, a run of results is really bad. So let's just say Jurgen Klopp is at the wheel at Liverpool and see what happens there. Take it easy, enjoy your football, enjoy your sport. Click like, share and subscribe, and I will see you after the Sheffield United result. Cheers everyone.